everyone, I'm Mishka and welcome back to my channel. Oh my god. In today's episode of Our Life Beginnings and Always, we are going to be continuing with the wedding DLC. Oh my gosh, you guys, we just got officially married in the last episode. If you have not seen it, go check it out. But we are going to be continuing with it today, and we're going to be doing our reception, so that's fun. So yeah, but before we get started, make sure to subscribe and share this video with your friends so they can find out about my amazing channel just like you have right now. So yeah, let's get into it. I hope you enjoy. You and Cove met up at the wedding party and the photographer while the other guests headed over to the reception spot. Oh, okay, so we're doing our photo shoot, I guess. The excursion was filled with fun and laughter while the photographer set out to get the ideal shots. Cove lovingly held your face, not afraid to show his affection in front of the camera for a change. His thumb brushed lightly across your cheek and then he pressed his forehead to yours. Aww! His breath was warming your skin and you closed your eyes shut to relish in his love. When he pulled away, you were speechless. But you also had a feeling that was going to be one of the best shots of the lot. When the sun began to set about an hour later, you knew it was time to rejoin with everyone else. So you eagerly got back into the car again and finally see the second location. Oh, it looks so pretty! Oh my god! You and Cove took a turn down the main path. There your friends and family were patiently waiting for this moment. The room filled with familiar cheers, whistles, and applause at your arrival. As the noise lessened, you began to hear various calls of congrats and welcome back, so love emanating from your friends and family was palpable. If I even said that right. Baxter made his way to the center of the area and began to gesture people back. The rest of the staff followed his lead and made space in the crowd. When the path ahead cleared out, you took a deep breath. It was time. Oh my god, we're doing our first dance! Oh my god. The beginning note of your first dance song played. You heard a few of the guests speak in hushed tones, anticipation rising as the melody kicked in. It was slow pace. Cover your eyes as ready as he could be, and you took his hands. You heard the high-pitched whine of a microphone and saw Baxter smiling. And now the couple had their first dance. Ah! You eagerly led Cove to the dance floor, mood still sky high. Cove did his best to remember the motions that were meant to go with the rhythm of the track. His long, deliberate steps were very careful to not land anywhere near your toes. Your moves were amazing. Step, step, turn, step. You were one with the music and your routine was on fire. You felt absolutely alive. Your dancing was so good that you were able to cover for Cove's struggles. He laughed as you swept up and down the floor, both of you keeping up with the tempo. The two of you gyrated across the floor, hearts pounding and expressions bright. Eventually, Cove was able to get in the flow. His body relaxed and you could see the confidence slowly ease into him. Softly, he took a moment to speak to you. This is the first moment to ourselves since even before the wedding. Cove clearly was grateful for the chance to finally talk to you. You're beautiful. Oh my god, thank you! You blushed, speechless. Rather than try to find words, you focused to make sure that you kept dancing correctly. Cove flushed a light rosy pink and beamed at you. This makes me think of that night at the summer story. Oh, do you guys remember that? Oh my god, that was all the way back in step 2. Oh my god. That was all the way back in step... Holy crap, y'all, where has the past year gone? Oh my god. Cove let out a stuttering laugh. His face went through a roller coaster of emotions before settling on amused. Aww. I hope that I'm at least a better dancer now than I was then, but honestly, I was thinking about that too. Oh! I remember exactly how it felt dancing with you years ago. I had a lot of hopes then. I wanted it to last forever, but I also desperately wanted to skip ahead so I know what things would be like for us in the future. And now, we're here, we made it. Cove sighed dreamily as he looked into your eyes. Thank God the ceremony is over and we can just be married now. Yeah. Not that the wedding is bad. He went as soon as he realized how his words sounded. He shook his head. No, you're fine. I just kept thinking that I'd ruined something or something terrible would happen. At this point, a truck full of apples could come through and destroy dinner and I wouldn't even care. Oh my god, you're so adorable. You were glad that this man was yours to keep. He was the cutest. Then the music reached the bridge of the song with complex choreography. Both of you had to focus more on the dance. That stopped your conversation in its tracks. The two of you became absorbed into dancing once more as the song's end grew closer and closer. The final note was struck and... it ended with Cove dipping you. Cove's dip was slightly awkward due to the height difference between you two, but he had to arch his back to get you down lower than you already were compared to him. He made it work, though. Cove's lips brushed over your ear. You're a really good partner. Aww, your face felt hot, and it wasn't only from the dancing. You heard a clap that steadily transformed into wild applause. Turning to face the crowd, you looked over your friends and family cheering. You did your own mini celebration. Your arms poked up in the air and you wiggled your hips in a happy shimmy. You jumped back around to see Cove. He had a smile wide on his face. Cove continued to watch you rather than switching his attention to the guests. He twisted his wedding band bashfully around his finger. With the first dance done, you both left the open floor to join the others and properly greet your seated guests. Cove offered you his arm to take once more. Oh, you took hold of his arm. Your arm wrapped around his, fitting as snugly together as matching pieces of a puzzle. It was a whole that could not be easily broken. Physically and legally linked to the other, you and Cove went forward as one. After only a few strides, you arrived at the nearest table in the arrangement. It had close family all the way around, including your mom and Ma. The two had scooted their chairs closer and were eagerly whispering to one another, trading words of excitement back and forth. Feeling awkward about having to interrupt, though realizing there was no reason to feel that way, Cove cleared his throat to announce you were in his presence.
Hey.
Hi. Snapping out of their private fervor, your parents turned the enthusiasm straight towards the two of you. You went between to give them a two from behind. The two leaned into your shoulders, returning the embrace. After keeping hold long enough to be warmed up by the shared body heat, you let go in order to stand up straight. Hello again, kiddos. Ma folded her hands together on the tabletop daintily and followed Mom with her own greeting. Welcome, it's so good to have you here at the reception now. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Of course. The ceremony was a memorable one. Those vows, huh? Oh my god. You also nailed the theming with that venue. It was truly unforgettable. And having the reception here is perfect. All the effort paid off. Hearing people actually discuss the wedding as a real event, Cove became tongue-tied. Your mom watched over the both of you with a gaze as doting as it was knowing. Have fun greeting everyone else. We'll be here if you need us. Okay. We still gotta try the food while you're busy with your big day. I appreciate everything. You're welcome, but we're happy to. Thanks again, moms. He said it for the first time. Mom's fingers squeezed together even more tightly, a visual representation of the restraint she was exerting not to cheer inappropriately loudly. While Mom attempted not to spook Cove after his timid attempt to use the new title, Mom had new qualms saying something embarrassing. Woohoo, we got upgrades about time! Pam! Cove's gaze immediately dropped to his feet and his near constant flush from the day reappeared. You gave your husband a reassuring pat on the arm, proud and pleased at his braveness. Okay, bye. Cove scuttled off, needing an escape, and you gave your parents a wave as you stuck by him. Goodbye. Good luck out there. Your and Cove's moms took their glasses of wine in hand and clinked them together celebratorily. Tamina and Cove. As matching images of each other, they slipped the drink in good cheer. Located at the same table were Cove's parents. They were taking it easy until Cliff noticed you and Cove had eyes on him. His grin ramped up to 1,000 watts. Hey, it's our local celebrities of the day. Cliff folded his arms, self-satisfied. The wedding's all been going to plan, I'm pretty sure, but I'll keep watch still, and if there's anything else I can do, just give me a shout. Cove brightened in a similar way. His tone was full of affection for his father. Hi, Dad, and thanks. You go out to the table to give him a hug. It was tricky to weave through the space, but you were able to get in arm's reach of Cliff. He opened up his arms wide for you and then squeezed you back. Soon you had to get out from behind chairs and other guests. So you let Cove go and nudged your way over to Cove again. Cliff began to chuckle amusedly as his eyebrows lifted higher on his head. You know, Mina, I was there in the hotel early with Cove today, and there were some difficulties. All my boy wanted to do was just call or text or just go over to room to see you before the wedding, but I got him to keep it together until the ceremony. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm glad you missed me. Cove made a meager attempt to give his dad a cross look, but it was soon overrun by a blush. Your positive reaction was a far bigger deal to him than the teasing. Cliff slyly winked, waving you and Cove off. I don't have to hug you. Everyone else wants to see you. Okay, see you later. Bye, Dad. Oh my god. Oh my god. A loud gasp escaped Cliff. You glanced over at Cove for his reaction. He grinned slightly with misted eyes, agreeing wholeheartedly with your statement. Now all that was needed was to see if you'd get Cliff's own acceptance. You didn't have to wait long for it. Overwhelmed with emotion, his voice squeaked at first, but he barely noticed. He was beaming with joy. Of course, of course. I don't know how I did not put two good kids as good as you. Cliff surveyed his two children proudly with his chest puffed out. I have to say, well, actually, I'll say it a little later. You have to wait for my big speech. Oh, God. Here it comes. Get ready, Mina. Come on, sport. It's going to be great. Now go on. I love you. I love you too, both of you. Oh, that's going to make me cry. Then finally, you rounded the table's edge and switched to the side where Kira sat. She was patiently sipping at a chilled cup of water, placing it down when she noted it was time for the meet and greet with the two of you. Hey, Mom. Hello, babies. You leaned to give her a hug. It took some stretching, but you were able to gain enough access to Kira's space in order to give her a solid hug. She put her arms around your shoulders gladly. You shared that affectionate touch for a moment and then shifted yourself back up. Thanks for helping with the party stuff. Of course, anything I can do for your special day is at the top of my list. Also, that was a marvelous dance. Such an incredible way to make an entrance. Cove kicked the tip of his shiny shoes and nothing in particular. His shoulder shifted from side to side shyly. Oh my god. Cove was forever incapable of seeming like a full-grown man in front of his mom. Kira's brows bent as she looked at him adoringly. God, I can't talk. Stop! Okay. But then she shut her eyes and brought out more energy. I'll see the two of you again soon. You should go explore the rest of your exquisite reception. Oh, alright. We should probably do that. Bye. Bye, Mom. She froze for a split second. Her hand flew to her mouth as her gaze landed back on you. Slowly, she lowered it, revealing the widest smile you'd ever seen on her face. Oh my god. In her gentlest tone, Kira cooed. Goodbye, baby. Oh my god, that's gonna make me cry. Oh my god. Okay, if you guys don't know, Kira is literally number one. Let's just be real. Kira is a baddie and I live for her, okay? Cove was positively melting from happiness seeing you and your shared mom speak to one another that way, but my whole channel, ever since Kira's popped up, she's been it, okay? And she's the maid of honor, too. I think that just speaks for it, too. But, oh my god, I love Kira. I love Kira. I don't know why. Maybe I just have, like, an attachment to her, but I don't know why. I just see her in me a lot, maybe. You're a wonderful mom, 3. So are you. Then you had to continue on to the next table in the seating arrangement. There were still guests waiting to see the both of you. Let's go to, what's her name? Liz? Oh my god, I forgot her sister's name. Listen, I ain't been here in like 3 months or something. Oh god, I don't even know how long it's been. It's been like almost 2 months maybe. But yesterday I uploaded the video in like a month. Oh my god, I need to get on with this crap. I'm sorry everyone, I've been really busy. I started doing cheerleading. I'm treasurer of a club. Homecoming of a day and everything. Yeah, and like don't want to talk about that. You had a pleasant conversation with your aunt and uncle on mom's side. They couldn't have been more pleased than you had found someone who made you as happy as Cove did. Right by was their daughter, your cousin, as well as your older sister. Yes, Lee and Liz! They were throwing looks, not so subtly, waiting to speak their piece, but didn't interrupt your chat with other family. Oh my god, they're so pretty! Oh my god, I need that. Oh my god, Lee, oh, holy crap, oh my gosh, she looks stunning, so does Liz. But when it was officially their turn, the ladies placed down glasses of juices and put on matching curved smiles. Oh god, what are you gonna do? Oh no, they're gonna tease, aren't they? Cove shifted on his feet embarrassingly. They didn't even need to say anything. You shook your head and smirked affectionately. The two of them were always ready for trouble. We did good work, didn't we? It's nice to be able to relax after all the preparations. Totally, everything went incredibly. You're both beautiful and it was just touching and amazing and perfect! Ow. Ew. Sorry. Ow. Okay, I was taking my braces out. Cove laughed airily. Lee's energy levels were as high as ever. Hello to you too. You must be relieved there were no accidental drownings with those waterworks going up during the ceremony. Lee couldn't suppress a snicker. Cove, on the other hand, pouted indignantly. To be serious for a moment, your sensitive souls did very well with those vows. Aww. Oh my god. Liz, I love you. Thanks for all that and everything. It was nice to see you. Oh, you're welcome. Yes, you are welcome, and thanks for coming to see us on your wedding tour. Bye. Bye. Oh. I love you too. With everyone at that spot properly greeted, you and your husband began to stroll along to the next one. Oh my god. But Cove then stopped in place, parrying that with a half turn of his body. You could recognize the laser-focused stare on his face. He had noticed something appetizing. Oh no! And it was simple to pinpoint what a server was approaching you with your carefully chosen appetizers for the reception on a silver platter. Congratulations on your wedding. Would you like anything? They lowered the offerings to be within grabbing range of your fingers. Oh, thank you. Cove's gonna take them all. Your husband eyed them excitedly, though didn't spend much time taking them in with just his gaze. Cove plucked one of the hot morsels and stuffed it whole in his mouth. He made sure to grab a second one of those to take with as well. He left the cold ones alone. Ooh. You tried both. The two of you munched on the little delights, enjoying the much-needed pit stop. The food was delicious. Cove swallowed the full-sized bite and took a break from filling up his cheeks to smirk instead. Our appetizers are way better than the ones at the side purses fancy parties. He threw a guilty look over his shoulder, worried someone who actually worked for the country club might have heard that. They both are good. His smile turned sheepish and didn't push it further. Ow. The last appetizer Cove picked out disappeared behind his lips, then he instinctively shifted his fingers to his pant leg before stopping himself. Being on his best behavior, Cove instead borrowed a napkin from off a table to clean his hands. You polished up your snack shortly after and for once followed Cove's example for tidying yourself. Your arms were linked as they had been before. Then you ended that interlude to get right back into the thick of the party. One more of the boisterous tables had Derek, Terry, and Miranda huddled together. They were celebrating wholeheartedly. Derek! Hi, everyone! That pleasant greeting was paired with a little wave. Your friends turned in unison after realizing you were there. Then the trio of buddies lifted cups full of beer and cheers to you and Cove. Oh my god, they all look so good! Miranda is so pretty! Oh my god, Miranda. What? Miranda is stunning. Holy crap. And I like the pink. Sup and congratulations. Thank you, Derek. Also, guys, if you did not know, his route came out like 2 days ago. And I was like, oh my god, I need to get this together. So I posted that other video. Oh god. But, oh my god. I don't know how to do his route because it's like it's intertwined with like step 2 and 4. So he's not in step 1 or 3. So like I want to know if you guys want another full playthrough of this, except it's like with Derek, or you just want me to skip 1 or step 1 and 3. Cause I mean it's about Derek and certain things are actually, you know what we could do? We could do a whole playthrough and have Cove and me as best friends, but we don't like each other. That's what we should do! Oh my god, that's what we should do, because I'm pretty sure you don't have to be romance with Cove, but oh my god, that would actually be really interesting. We should do that. Hi, thank you for letting us come. But, you know, let me know what you guys want. Hey, congrats you two. Fist bumps. Fist bumps for head all around. I have gotta say, what a nice event this is. It's so high class. Cove shyly basks in the affection of his closest friend, sucking it up like a delicate sapling in the sunshine. Thanks, and thanks for coming. Come on, dude, I wouldn't have missed it. We had to be. Cove and Mina are their wedding. It's what? Okay. Listen, I need my trusty Google. I need Google. I'm sorry. Listen, I can't say certain words. This is so dumb. I'm wasting time. I don't know how the heck you say that.
Momentous.
Momentous. There we go. Momentous. Ah, it's momentous. We're really enjoying the reception. Don't worry about us if you have to go do important bride and groom stuff. I appreciate that. It's weird to say, but we do have important bride and groom stuff to do today. We're greeting all the guests right now. We'll see you later though. Okay, bye. Safe travels. Enjoy yourselves. You're my best friends. Miranda and Derek on while Terry wiped a dramatic imaginary tear from his eye. Thanks, Mina. Ah! Cove skipped ahead, buoyed by the brief but fun interaction, and you went right along with him. You took a minute to scan across the rest of the tables and the guests seated at them. You were able to recognize everyone who had gathered there that day, but you did notice an absence. A gentle poke pushed against your shoulder. Oh no. Wait. Is it Shiloh? Please. It's a smiling Cove took his pointing finger and used it to point out in the distance. Hovering around the fringe of the venue space was a pale, miserable face. Dressed in all gray to anyone else, it may have been a sight you turned cold. A hayburger misfortune. But for Cove, the little rain cloud brought warmth to his heart. He came. It's a Jeremy! Oh my god! You didn't have to look for long until Jeremy happened to glance your way. Eye contact was made across the floor. Jeremy visibly sighed, making enough of a show for you to even tell, even from afar. He then briskly walked forward. Jeremy! Ah! Oh my god! Oh my god, Cove is... Okay. He only stopped when he solidly placed his feet right in front of you and Cove. Happy wedding, you insane people. Why did you invite me to this? Why did you come? Because you invited me. I don't have to explain why. Then you pulled him into a hug. Oh, Jeremy, you're so cute. It took a second for reality to strike him, but you knew as soon as it did because he let out a whispered screech that was akin to a hiss. Let me go. Oh, Jeremy, you're so cute. Jeremy completely wilted, scrubbing at himself to try removing the warmth of your arms from his skin. I'm sorry, are you okay? Jeremy couldn't handle the affection, wasn't able to meet your eyes when he groaned his answer. Whatever. Cove watched the interaction joyfully. There would always be a spot in Cove's life for the difficult man in front of him. Thanks so much for coming. It wouldn't have been the same without you. True, it would have been better. Ah! Well, it's nice of you to want to come to share the suffering. Misery loves company. He was sarcastic, but it was far more playful than dismissive. You should visit more often. He smirked teasingly. I hope that won't end up happening, but I've never been lucky. Is Pran doing well? That was a rare subject that could draw Jeremy's very limited soft side. He smiled with that sarcasm. He actually is. It's better every day since we graduated. He's a nicer guy than me again. That's so great. Are you ever gonna let us see a picture or something? Maybe put him on a call with you? Nope. He thinks it's funny that you've only ever heard him secondhand. Aw. But he did say congratulations for getting strange to the married... Congratulations for getting married to the strange people in a completely different town who only meet him. He also likes that tattoo. I told him about it. Thanks, Pran. Yeah, tell him thanks from us. The delicate sweetness he showed dried up. He was finished being caring. Whatever. Aw. How are classes going? They're a pain, but it's infinitively better than high school. How's your girlfriend doing? She's as delusional as pushy as ever. I don't know what's more absurd. The two of you keeping in touch with someone that they only know as a pain they'd randomly interact with, or her still not dumping me after years. Why don't people go away? Why do they keep sticking around me? Maybe because you're not as unlovable as you think. Jeremy made another sound that wasn't quite as a sigh that time, more of a disbelieving puff. Maybe people have worse taste than I even gave them credit for. But anyway, she's doing groovy. Don't worry about her. You left it there. He crossed his arms as his eyes drifted over the scene, searching for something. In a low mumble, he changed the subject. I guess this is one of the better functions I've had to attend. As opposed to Jeremy's murmur, Cove shouted, "You're saying something nice about our wedding?" That had left Cove flabbergasted, but Jeremy kept his lukewarm stance. It's not earth-shattering. What a sweetheart. Ah! Jeremy is so cute. Oh my god. Jeremy sunk into himself again. This time he brought flushed cheeks with him. And that was enough socializing for one event. Apparently, as Jeremy gave a slight nod to count as a goodbye, it simply wandered off towards the drink bar. Cove's excitement from the encounter lingered, and he watched Jeremy until he completely disappeared. Well, that could have been worse. I'm glad we invited him. I'm glad he came. Cove lifted his shoulders unsurely, but the smile on his face was content. It was what it was. Table to table, you continued to greet each attendee of your wedding. From family who flew in from Hawaii to be there to those who live right by your place, you appreciate everyone who took the time to come celebrate this day. Wow, we have family from Hawaii? There was so much love to go around. Every conversation was just as enjoyable as the last. The one person who you hadn't seen during your rounds made himself known when Baxter's voice echoed throughout the space, amplified by a microphone. Good evening. Thank you all for attending the wedding of Mina and Cove Holden. Oh my god. Mina Holden! Holy crap! We would up again the bouquet toss! Oh my god! Oh my god! We need to get Liz! A smattering of applause and light murmurs followed the announcement. Baxter let that settle before continuing. Cove, Mina, please come to the open area in the center. Anyone who wants to play can. You and your husband eagerly obliged to start the tradition, going over to the stand alone on the cleared floor, but it wasn't for long. Lee hopped out of her seat right away, taking Liz by the arm to bring her along for the ride. Your sister wasn't as impossibly excited as your cousin, but she was intrigued. Miranda rose to her feet as well, her boyfriend pumping her up to win the whole walkover. She giggled bashfully and waved at Terry while waiting in the forming crowd. Derek! Derek decided to get in on things as well, grinning amusedly among the rest of the players. Jeremy was standing but watched from a great distance, very much not close enough to be considered a part of the crowd. Kira looked on at the group, taking a second to consider it, but ultimately she became another member of the gang. Oh, Kira! Oh my god! She strolled over to the collection of younger folks and called out for Cliff to join with her. Come on, don't be such a snore. He shook his head, seeing lower into the chair. Lee, Miranda, Akira, and Liz all began to wave and jump, encouraging Cliff. Terry spoke up from the next table over. You can do it, man. Alright. He used the edge of the table to push out his chair and stood up. The ladies cheered as Cliff strode towards the crowd. Your moms giggled and leaned closer together and whispered amongst one another. They were eager to be audience members to the spectacle, and no one else motioned to join, so Baxter kept things moving. Thank you for grouping up in such a timely manner. We've got a wonderful crowd for this. Now keep your eyes on Mina. She will be tossing the bouquet in only a moment. Mina, all you need to do is look the other way and throw the bouquet to the waiting audience. Cove can stand by. Yeah, bye, Cove. I'm throwing it. As instructed, you turn your back to the crowd. Cove took his place in front of you. His shoulders were drawn in out of a sympathetic tenseness for your task. They're definitely ready for you, Mina. Thanks. The room became silent as you wound up for the toss. You paused and then gave it a solid, steady throw. A flurry of heels clattering, jewelry clinking, and lighthearted yells burst into the space. The bouquet would land in seconds, and the crowd was vying for that prize. The clamor repeatedly reached its peak volume, with nearly everyone in the crowd either gasping or cheering. The game had ended. You took a glance over your shoulder to see what the results were, and Kira! Oh my god! Oh my god! Yes! Yes! Okay, Kira, you're getting married next. I wanted it to be Kira or Liz. I didn't think that this would be Kira. Holy crap. Kira stood stum in the middle of the crowd. She had a bouquet in her hands. A big cheese. Oh, Kira. Oh, a pink touch for shivering cheeks as it finally sunk in. I didn't think I'd win. Why not? You're always good at things. Aw. Kira. Oh, Kira is so cute. Your planner took to the mic again to make the results official. Stunning work by our winner, Kira. Yes, go Kira! Pop off, queen! Yes, I was shooting for you. There was laughter all around, and your guests were good sports. As ever, Baxter was able to manage the flow of the day on your behalf. He took the mic and addressed the assembled crowd, his clear voice resonating through every speaker. Please, could everyone return to the seating area for our next event? The couple has arranged a special dance between themselves and the parents of the groom of the bride and groom. God. Your eyes met Cove's awkward marine ones as you instinctively glanced towards each other. Your expressions brightened before you stepped apart, ready for the event. Cove's parents came over. Kira was clearly excited, hurrying to join you while Cliff loitered bashfully half a step behind her. Once they were beside you, Cliff held out his arm. You accepted, slipping your hand through his. After you offered your other arm to Kira, she took it immediately. The three of you kept a spot in the center of the dance space at the front of the reception area. In position, ready for the music to start, you had a chance to really notice their expressions. Both of them looked proud, but you could see that there were hints of tears starting to fall. Aww. Dude, you're gonna get me crying. As the music began, Cliff released you so that you and Kira could have the first dance. You flowed and swayed along to the tune. Kira spoke up gently, her words only audible to you. Oh! I'm really grateful. Kira! You're gonna get... No. I don't want to cry. I really am grateful that we were able to meet. You're an amazing person, Mina. Oh my god. You smiled at her at a loss for how else to respond to such sweet praise. But it was soon Cliff's turn. Kira handed you off to him, and the two of you got into the swing of things together. Once you'd fallen into an easy rhythm, he had his own thoughts to share. I know I've relied on you a lot over the years. That was one way of putting it. You smiled warily, tempted to tease him, but decided to let him keep going without a challenge. With everything we've been through together, it made it feel like we were kind of a team. So, well, I'm just trying to say that I'm glad you're officially part of the family. The unexpected compliment struck you like a bullseye to your heart. Choked up, you only nodded by way of a response, but you could tell Cliff got the message by the way he beamed at you. You truly did love both Cove's parents, and it meant a lot to you that they were able to be there on this day. As you turned on the dance floor, you caught sight of Cove dancing hand in hand with your parents. Cove's brow was furrowed in concentration as he very carefully took each step. Despite his obvious nerves, your moms were elated and seemed to be encouraging him. The sight of it cheered you as you moved back towards Cliff and Kira. Cliff made to bow out at that point, intending to make way for you to dance with Kira again, but she had other plans. Aww, she grabbed his hand in yours and you danced together as a group. After a while, she released Cliff's hand and you danced with her one-on-one again. Before long, you swapped back to dancing with Cliff. You took turns dancing with them both individually, as well as dancing as a group, changing it up often so that no one was left out in the cold for that long. But eventually the song came to an end, bringing the dance to a close. Cliff clapped you on the back. That was a heck of a time. Kira, who hadn't released you once the music had finished, still had one arm hooked around you and was clutching your wrist with the other hand. She nodded fervently. Absolutely, this has been a marvelous evening. You grinned at them, relieved and delighted that they were enjoying themselves. The day might be about you and Cove, but it was also about your families coming together. Their approval meant a lot to you. Thanks. Cove, flanked by your moms on the other side, came over to rejoin you. Their spirits were high and you had no doubt that they enjoyed themselves just as much as you and Cove's parents had done, though Cove still looked a little flustered. That was wonderful, bravo. Baxter's voice rang out through the speakers once more. For our next event, we need the family to stay right where they are. Everyone who would like to join them is more than welcome to do so. Oh god, we have our money dance! The couple have arranged to continue the evening celebration with a traditional money dance. Baxter's words had the intended effect. People came over and, led by those who'd experienced one of these dances before, formed a loose circle around you and Cove. As more guests joined, the ring filled in until it was tightly packed with eager, familiar faces. Despite being the center of attention all day, Cove still wasn't inured to it. It looked like that was especially true, but the onlookers were so close. Okay, keep in mind, I don't know what a money dance is. I thought it would be like a dance where they throw money all around. It don't seem like it. You caught him biting his lip unconsciously, but he busied himself with taking your hand and getting ready into the position for the dance. You squeezed his hand reassuringly, your heart pounding with competing exhilaration and tension. The guests were in the festive spirit of the event, already laughing and grinning when the chosen song began to play. Oh, the money was thrown into the air. Oh, no, it was thrown into the air. You and Cove began moving together to the beat of the song. Around you, guests were readying themselves for action. Some had their money out already, while others were digging out purses and wallets. None were more prepared for this moment than Cliff, unsurprisingly. He was clutching huge, thick stacks of bills in both hands. You didn't need to count them to know that he easily had far more than anyone else. But Cove was always... But Cliff was always one to share the wealth, and he offered bills out to those around him who didn't have quite as many. Some habits died hard. People tossed handfuls of bills high in the air so that it could rain down on you and Cove. The notes gently floated around you. It was a vision that was simultaneously familiar and particular. You'd participated in these dances before as a guest, but actually standing in the center of it all was a completely different experience. It was surreal to see money drifting down all around you like a green snowstorm. As you and Cove swayed together to the music, your family and friends kept the supply of bills coming. You were overjoyed to see their smiles as they threw the money that represented their wishes for you and Cove's future together. There was an art to the throwing in such a way that it fell in a shower rather than like a stone that seemed to bring out the competitive streak in some people. As you laid your head on Cove's shoulder, you spotted Cliff and Derek openly vying to be each other's best. You felt absolutely swallowed in love from your family and friends, and the happy faces around you assured you that everyone was having a great time getting into the spirit of the dance. Assistants from the venue had collected the money off the floor, as well as many errant notes that had landed on you and Cove and gotten stuck there. One of them retrieved a stray bill from Cove's collar. The song was nearing its end. There was a flurry of activity as everyone made sure to use up their cash before it finished. People cheered as the dance reached its conclusion, applauding and whooping and whistling with excitement. The boisterous energy of the money dance had set the mood right, and your love songs got turned up, inviting people to come forward. That had only been the start of the celebration. The dance floor bustled with more and more attendees, and over in the steering seating area, family and friends were catching up over animated conversations. Satisfied that people were having a good time, you decided to dance with everyone. You happily shimmied into the crowd and ready to make the most of the occasion. It wasn't often you got to gather up the people most important to you like this, and even rare for it to come with good music and the opportunity to dance. Rotating partners for each dance meant that you could spend time with various guests one-on-one. You danced with Derek and with Liz, gliding around on the floor along to the music. You continued to spend time with the whole bunch for the song after song, but of course made sure to save some dances for you and your husband too. The merrymaking continued right up until it was time for dinner to be served. All the action must have helped them to work up an appetite as the guests complied readily. They quickly filed back to their tables ready for a delicious meal as soon as it was announced. You settled right into your own seat at the head of the table. Cove sat up in his own chair excitedly, reaching over for the napkin wrapped silverware in preparation. He was ready for dinner. A waitress clad in black from top to bottom came to stand across from you. She had a frosty pitcher of water in her hands. While sitting that down at a spot on the tabletop between you and Cove, she spoke out in a friendly tone. "Can I get you anything else to drink?" "Can I have some orange juice, please?" "I can use a beer." Actually, wait. I need a beer. Listen, I got you. I'll get that right to you. You both thanked her. She spun on her heels and made a beeline to the drink counter. At the same time, more servers began pouring into the space coming from the opposite direction. They were spreading out between the tables, collecting orders from the rest of the guests. One of the darkly dressed figures stood out from the rest of you. With perfect pose and not a hair out of place, Baxter stood on the sidelines to supervise the process. He was well into his work. Servers ebbed and flowed between the tables as drinks were provided to each individual who requested one. That wasn't where it stopped. Soups and salads were then carted out before the main course. Oh my god, I can't talk. Cove took a satisfied inhalation of the steam coming off the soup. You could catch a whiff of the scent yourself. It was savory and rich. He scooped a spoonful out and dug right in. The rest of the guests followed, following the first taste of what you had to offer them. Spirited discussions were had between bites. There were plenty of compliments. Your mom, Miranda, and Liz sounded especially pleased with how it came out. They were chatting to the others at their tables about the subtle flavors. And many of your attendees made use of the extra spice that had been made available. Cliff, Kira, Ma, Terry, Derek, and your own lovely husband each added their own levels of added heat. For your meal, you added a little spice. It was delicious and exactly the way you had wanted. Oops. Mom's jovial tone carried itself above the rest of the voices. "So, how much are we getting here?" "There were those appetizers from before. Now there's more, and the meal hasn't even shown up. I've lost count keeping track already." "Oh, I asked. It's a 6-course meal, not counting dessert." "That many?" Mom was hit with a wide-eyed shock, and Kira only smirked. "My guess is that was the maximum amount. That's why you went with 6. Yeah. The two mothers began to laugh together. "Now that sounds right." When the bowls were polished clean, the servers began to reappear, clearing the dishes away to make room for more. The main course was ready, and the guests were ready for it. Sorry, I had to open my soda. When the rest of the plates were brought out, you could pick out oohs and ahs about how amazing it looked in the generous portion size. You even heard mention of the swirls and additions by some discerning guests. Very few words were spoken as the dinner truly began. Everyone became fully immersed in their food. It was quite the hit. Oh, that's good. Guests were given time to enjoy their meals, broadly refreshed before the reception events continued as you had planned. Baxter strolled up to a side counter set on the opposite end of the head table. You had a perfect view of it. Casually, he took the microphone that he'd used throughout the rest of the event to make another announcement. "Good evening. From the staff and I'd like to thank you all for being such lovely guests to serve. We hope you enjoyed your dinner. Now, me and Cook Holden have arranged for a few speakers to come up and give their congratulations in order to mark this very special occasion. Please pause your conversations and give them your attention at this time." A nervous rhythm began to play out next to you as Cove's fingers were drummed against the edge of the table. You watched a furrow grow deeper into his brows. He was preparing himself for whatever was about to be said. There would likely be some friendly teasing, and almost certainly he was going to get emotional again. Baxter directed a soft smile down to you and Cove. Cheers to the couple. It was my privilege to be a part of today's event as a planner and as a person. While I shouldn't pick favorites, that's unprofessional. This is certainly one of the loveliest occasions I've been to because it couldn't have been for lovelier people. I wish you all the best in your future. He didn't hug the mic any longer than necessary, playing it back down in the center of the stand as soon as his own feelings had been made clear. Oh, Baxter, I love you. I cannot wait for his DLC to come out. Once the mic was available, the first person to stand was your ma. She hopped right up and made her claim on the front table. Softly, she spoke across the space directly to you and Cove, her words being carried through the air to where you sat. Congratulations, more my wonderful children. This wedding feels like a dream, as much as my own did when I was around your age. Oh my god. No, don't get me crying. Her head tilted to the side towards the other guests and began a formal speech. Armina has been a joy to our family's lives and everyone else who's met her since the day we were brought together. But watching how she's grown with Cove has been special. The first day they met, Mina told me and Pamela that she was gonna marry him. It was so precious, but truthfully, I didn't believe it. She fluttered one of her hands bashfully. I'm sorry, honey, you proved me wrong, and I'm grateful for it. Oh my god, I need a drink. The way Mina treasured the little stuffed turtle keychain Cove had bought for her, even using as her cell phone charm as soon as she got one. Seeing how sweetly they shared their treats together when they could. Cove's nervousness over attending a formal party but doing it anyway because it was with Mina. There was the one long weekend where Cove came day after day to take Mina on charming trips for no special reason at all. And then in return, Mina came to me and Pam needing her help to cook a proper treat for him. Her eyelids rested closed as she let out a sentimental sigh. And I could keep going, there's so many memories. Mina can clear the tears from his eyes better than everyone when she wasn't the one causing them. Happy tears, of course. It was beautiful and it still is. Her tender gaze shifted to the two of you once more, signaling the end her talk had arrived. I can only hope you'll be able to continue growing together for many more years to come. I love both of you very much. Oh my god, that almost got me. Your husband's eyes had already begun misting. After knowing her for all this time. No! Cove developed a deep affection for Ma. Hearing that she cherished those important memories the same way you and he did had an impact. Oh my god, it's gonna make me cry. She slid the mic in its proper... We're not even through everyone! Oh my god! Brushed at her bangs and walked to her seat again on light steps. Your mom brushed down her dress as she stood on her feet and began to walk. This was her chance to take the stage. She was going for it. Oh god, here we go. Teasing coming. When she put one hand on the mic, the tip of her finger tapped the top of it, doing a sound test. The up sound echoed out, and your mom was satisfied with that. She lifted her head high, facing the crowd and smiling merrily. Thanks everyone for coming today and for all the gifts you brought. I don't know how we're going to be able to pack all that stuff up to get it to their place, but we'll make it work. When there's a will, there's a way. She had to lower the mic a bit, already snickering under her breath. Well, Minako, our families went through a ride with you two being brought together. Talk about a force of nature. You were attached to the hit as soon as you met and have been ever since. You even ran to get away together. The first summer you met, you were only 8. And Cliff almost had a heart attack when we all took that RV out and Cliff had disappeared from his sleeping bag in the morning, and it turned out that he snuck into the lawn with Mina. Oh my god! Oh, I remember all that! Oh my god. Granting air lost in those old memories, she shook her head. But at the end of it all, I think you were both good influences on each other. Or at the least, you made one another very happy. That's good enough in my mind. You really took that promise when you were 13 to treat Mina well to heart, huh, Cove? Thanks. Cove smacked a hand into his cheek automatically. He didn't do anything to hide the color burning into his face. And you know, we really do need a son in there to round things out. Mom snorted in laughter at her own lie. She waved that away with her free hand, wanting to be more serious. When she could muster the even toe she had been aiming for, your mom finished her speech. I love you, kiddos, and it's true that you're working hard. We're hard-working adults now, but don't ever forget that your mom and I are here if you need something. Aww. Your family will always be there. She had been able to coax out some chuckles from Cove throughout. She was mostly amused over her penchant for jokes and the actual joke themselves, but the laughter had been shaky with emotion. He really had come to love your mom. Aww. I think I'll cry. Ew. Sorry. I mean, I already cried for Ma. I didn't for Pamela. Wait. Yeah, Pamela is Mom, and then Nolani is Ma. Okay. Yeah. I cried for Nolani, but it wasn't like, I think I'll cry for Kieran Clef. I really think I do. I don't know about, if Derek, Miranda, and Tara are doing it, I don't know about them. I think Lee and Liz will be laughing. With a quite pleased grin, Mom left the mic behind and returned to her spot right by her wife. Smooth as silk, Liz rose from her seat and glided across the floor to the speaker stand. But Liz took her time before saying anything. Even out her bangs, clearing her throat, filling with the angle of the mic when she did take a hold of it, she didn't have a care in the world. That couldn't be said for everyone. Cove tensed in apprehension of whatever she was going to say. He had to know what she was planning. Luckily for him, she eventually began her speech and ended his suspense. As I'm sure many of you know, I'm Mina's older sister, so one of the very few people who have been around her for longer than her husband. She was already smirking 2 sentences in. We're pretty close is the thing. She flicked the hand without the mic into a non-committal half shrug. But honestly, Mina, if I'd realized you'd be marrying that new kid back when I was 10, I might have had to disown you! Good job, Mom, not spilling the beans on Mina's little plan to the rest of us until now. A scrawny, grumpy boy who didn't even know how to play pretend, right? Certainly not, even if I did joke about it happening. Hey! Cove gasped indignantly that she would say such things, but things being said continued on regardless of his objection. And yet, here we are at your wedding to that very crybaby. Unbelievable. Exasperated at Liz's angle for her congratulations speech, Cove slunk lower in his seat, took his drink in both hands, and sipped at the juice like a furious elementary school kid. Her head slowly shook, the ends of eyebrows bent, and a less crooked smile came to her face. The tone wasn't silly anymore. But with all that out of the way, what I actually want to say now is, you made the right choice. He's the one for you. Day after day, week after week, year after year, Cove was there, even more than I was a lot of the time. Don't get your hopes up about this meeting. I'm done teasing you about it. For today, I want to thank you, Cove. Those big, watery eyes of yours have never lost sight of Mina since she caught them. It brings peace. Why? It brings peace to my heart to know that there's another person out there for her, or out there who cares for her as deeply as she deserves to be. Oh. He didn't have another comment then. Liz's grin widened as if she knew exactly the reaction she'd been getting. Congratulations to my good old baby sister and her baby boyfriend, love you. With that, she tilted the mic towards the two of you as though she was toasting a glass. At the last moment, Liz had made Cove smile, and his wide eyes were as damp as she had described. Liz daintily left the microphone where it belonged and returned to her chair, fully satisfied. There was a clattering of silverware and dishes as Lee sprang out from her table. She skipped away, not paying any mind of that. She was too impatient for the chance to talk. Somehow it reminded you of all those times you chatted over the phone, the fun and excitement of sharing what was going, even when you weren't right next to each other. She took the mic right into her hand, protecting plenty of stage presence, standing in front of an audience. My cousin Mia and I are the same age and got to grow up together. Because of that, I've gotten the joy of watching the story of her and her next door neighbor, Cove. They've been swinging over each other basically forever. That's the whole tale, but I was invested in it. So let's just say I was the tiniest bit worried when neither of them had the nerve to propose. If they waited any longer, I was going to offer to do it for Mina just to get it over with. She could have was as much joy as when she first found out the big news. Thanks, Cove, for taking care of that. This couldn't have ended better. I'm your biggest fan. But as happy as I really am about your adventures in love and marriage, the best part for me has been my own relationship with the two of you. Leandra took a moment to slow down and express her thoughts with complete honesty. Mina, you're among my closest family and very best friends. And Cove, you're not just my cousin's husband, you're my friend too, and my family just the same. Congrats on your stunning future together. I love both of you. Aww. Cove had to bite his lip to keep it from wobbling. The earnestness truly touched him. Her high energy attitude quickly returned though. Lee dropped the mic down and blew a couple kisses your way before she switched back to her seat. Oh god, Derek. Derek came out from the seating area to give his own talk. He had a relaxed stance when he grabbed the mic and waved it over the head table. Congrats. Hey, congratulations again to you, Mina, and Cove. You found your other halves and anyone can see it. You're good for each other, you're good to each other. Whether you're married or not, no one would have questioned that commitment, even though it's been a hell of an event too. The first lines of the speech were for you and Cove, but Derek then turned outward so just the rest of the crowd. One time when we were barely teenagers, we went to the mall and there were these wind chimes that Cove was eyeballing but wouldn't stop to get, and then Mina got him one. And Cove still has it. That's impressive. Your jaw dropped. You never realized Derek had noticed any of that. You snuck a glance to Cove and he was sending you the side-eyed look of shock. The two of you sat there having to accept that you weren't as subtle with your affections as you seemed. Derek had been polite about it. Derek beamed with the boyish charm, looking just as he did the first time you met him. Thanks for being my friend. It's been a pleasure to know you two. Derek's heartfelt appreciation had to be awkwardly be interruption with one quick addendum. What? Oh, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm getting that time management thing under control. He took the chuckles from the crowd in good stride and wrapped things up for real. Thank you for letting me talk. Carefully, Derek hooked the microphone back into its stand. When he let go, he hovered his hands nearby for a second to catch it if it fell. When he was sure all was well, he nodded confidently and lightly jogged to his seat. Cove watched the entire exit with a smile growing larger and larger on his face. A beat passed and then Miranda stood. She gripped at the front of her flowing dress, pulling it from the ground as she walked over to the mic. Her shoulders were shyly hunched up and her head was low. If she wasn't surrounded by tables full of people watching, you might have thought she was sneaking out of the bed while trying not to be caught by her parents. When Miranda finished tiptoeing to the front, she gathered up the microphone in both of her hands, her eyes closed rather than directly facing the crowd. She may have not been comfortable in public speaking, but her desire did not let you and Cove down outweighed that. Hi. Cove's focus was set ahead, but you ought of your perils of your own gauge that your husband mouthed the high back to her instinctively. Thank you, Mina and Cove, for inviting me. It's been a wonderful day and I'm so happy for you two. The snippets of her presentation smoothed out the more she got to talking. She was even able to giggle as her affectionate feelings for her friends eclipsed the worries of saying them in public. God. It's been great attending a party of yours, and after you two were always nice enough to come to mine. Cove laughed along with her warm, far-gone days of bounce houses, noisemakers, and pin the tail on the donkey reflected in his jubilant face. You're both amazing, and I really appreciate the support you've given me. Being there when I need someone to talk to, you've had such a positive impact on my life. I'm just really lucky to be your friend. I hope we'll always be friends. Congratulations, Mina and Cove. Aw, Miranda. Cove nodded firmly in silent agreement with her wish while scrubbing his eyes. Miranda put down the mic with some oomph, then twirled around to return to her seat. Her steps were much lighter than before. Terry was waiting there with open arms to give her a squeeze, clearly proud of his girlfriend for doing so good. Her smile stayed bright even from a distance. Terry jumped onto his seat with a grin, strolling right over to the counter. He scooped up the mic in one hand and gestured ahead of him with the other. God. I met Cove and Mina in high school. I didn't know them the longest out of everybody, but I could say they were some cool people right away. Them and Randy were my best group of buddies back then, and we've kept that friendship train going despite all the stuff that's happened. He tapped a finger against the tabletop in time with every specific he mentioned. Graduating school, moving to different places, me and Miranda dating, the two of them getting married, and things about us not being what other people thought they were. Also, we lived through that one summer when it wasn't just the four of us. Sometimes it was the five of us. Right, my pal Baxter? He brought the mic even closer to his grinning mouth for emphasis and dramatically pointed off to the side. Now we're all here again. You probably hadn't planned for that. And he was right. Having been quietly discussing next steps with the server, Baxter's mouth hung open mid-word. Suddenly brought into focus outside of his expertly laid schedule, knocked him completely off rhythm. Cove barked a gratified laugh, equally as shocked but far more amused. Baxter's head turned in the direction of his sound, his mouth finally closed into a wary smile. It seemed Terry brought the gift of teasing someone other than you or Cove, and it was more than a welcome offer as far as Cove was concerned, especially since it was taken in good spirits. There was something remarkable about being able to include Baxter in your group's merrymaking the same way as anyone else. Terry nodded knowingly, then casually transitioned into his main point, and I guarantee our friendship is going to stay on track. No matter what, there's no one who could take your places from me to you and from you two to each other. Good work tying the knot your catches. Terry left his speech and the mic there. He paused to applaud your union graciously before flipping his hand out into a wave as he walked off. Cove gave a big friendly wave in return. His eyes were glossy. As soon as Terry hit his chair again, Miranda took his arm and happily began whispering him about the speech. Oh god, here we go. Oh my god. Kira pushed herself up from her seat and went right to the front without hesitation. Eagerly, she lifted my chair lips and said, I can't believe my baby is having a wedding right now! The unexpected declaration sent chuckles rumbling throughout the crowd. Any boosies. Kira continued with a wink and a smile. It was a treat getting to meet Mina in person for the first time. Though I already felt like I knew her, thanks to all the stories Cove loved to recount about her. In a pouting whisper, Cove spoke out about that description of events. Mom! Oh my god. Whenever I got to visit Sunset, or you visited me, I came firsthand more and more of what marvelous individual you were growing into. You bloomed right before my eyes like perfect white poppies in the neighborhood. Every moment I've been able to spend with each of you has been a gift. We had some pretty wild times over the years. I count my lucky stars that I got to be the mom to such an amazing boy. Mina, buoyant tone of Kira's words. Faded to be softer, sweeter. I'd like to thank you personally for helping my baby make himself a home. Oh my god, I'm truly grateful for that. Oh my god. There was a snipping at your side after that. Come talk to me. God, why? There was a sniffing at your side after that. Cove tugged at the tablecloth in front of him, unconsciously needing to do something. Mom. Congratulations, both of you. I love you. I love you too. It didn't matter that she couldn't hear, she knew. Curious to bottom of her palm and wipe her eye, placing the hand on this thing with another hand. God! She took an additional moment to look up at you and Cove gently, and then carried her back to her table. Mr. Holden leaned over towards her and gave 2 thumbs up for that speech. His zealousness made Kira cover her mouth in amusement and embarrassment. And then Mr. Holden raised from out of his seat. The most contentious figure in your husband's early life who grew to become his best man. Cliff took large strides to reach the speaker's stand. But his fingers froze in place before they could grasp the mic. He stared down at it, collecting his thoughts or his emotions or both. When he was ready, his hand locked around the base of it, and as he lifted the mic up higher, a grin pulled across his face. There was a wrinkle around the corner of his eyes. Hey, sport. Hi, Mina. Hey, Dad. Cove's reply was barely audible. He might have been realized he'd done it. Cove's ear senses was shaking as he looked ahead intently. Well, Cliff's expression turned distant. He was facing the crowd, but his gaze had drifted even further away into something in the past that was long gone. I remember the first day Cove and I moved to Sunset when I met Mina. I didn't know where my boy was then or what I was doing or anything at all really, as you'll soon be able to tell. He chuckled weakly after the self-derisive comment. It didn't do much to lighten anyone's mood, including his own. He remained wistful. I was sitting around on the curb when Mina strolled up the road heading home. I knew her, or I knew of her. I'd met Pamela and Nolani already. Talking to them is how Cove got away from me. Cliff shook his head, trying not to get too lost in his complicated mess of thoughts on those times. But that's not the point. What matters is that I heard Mina was her 8-year-old, the same age as my Cove, and that Mina was the only one that age in the neighborhood. In my infinite wisdom, I picked out a place that wasn't exactly a family-friendly community. It was mostly a bunch of retired vacationers. He gritted his teeth and placed a hand to his forehead, feeling the sting of that day as if it was fresh. And speaking of, did I mention that it was the start of the summer break when we moved? What was my little boy going to do now that I dragged him out here? I wanted him to have someone to play with, someone he could talk to. I wanted him to be happy. There was a heart-wrenching crack in Cliff's voice as he spoke about what his feelings had truly been. At that moment, everything was going wrong. I felt like a dead end, no matter which way I went, and I was so sure there wouldn't be anyone for Cove if it wasn't Mina. In more violent effort to try not to think about the mood of your wedding too heavy, Cliff gave a goofy shrug. So I offered Mina $20 to be his friend. It's just funny to me. The straight line of his shoulders and a little bit on each side like a roof sagging after years of having to stay solid. Maybe that's not the word. What I'm saying is that all my worries and regrets were at their peak. I was acting crazy, I know it now. But somehow it still turned out that there wasn't really anyone else for him. Or not anyone better for him anyway. Nobody else in this world who can be there for Cove the way she can. The sentence remained unfinished as much as he tried. Cliff couldn't put the words together to express what it meant to him. Cliff placed a hand against his chest as his gaze lowered to the ground. His delicate words continued to be shared with a full gathering of people thanks to the mic, but it was as if Cliff was only speaking to his son. That day, such a long time ago at this point, when you found out about why me and Kira divorced, Mina was there. But the plan was to just go jet skiing. Then, when that emotional bomb happened, she was still there. And when you felt ready to head back out to keep moving forward, you just had to turn your head to see someone who was ready to go with you. You had someone who supported you in ways I never could. It was just what I had hoped for. I was so relieved. He glanced forward once more, offering a smile directly to you. You're an amazing person. Inhaling deeply throughout his nose, Cliff's stance pulled together tall and solid. His dark blue eyes shone with a depth to them as he met with the far brighter blue of his child's. Son, being your dad will always be the best thing I've done in my entire life, and getting that condo on the street was the luckiest card I ever drew. I bet that you two would have found each other with or without that eventually, but because of it, my kid got to grow up right next to the person who could make him the happiness. I can't ask for more than that. I mean, you didn't need a dad with what great moms you got, but I'm so thankful it's so good to be yours. I love you both, and I'll keep loving you for the rest of the time I've got. Tears streaked down Cove's face freely. He didn't fight their falling. I love you too. Watching you and your husband from where he stood, Cliff got misty-eyed himself. He reached to wipe his cheek, completely forgetting there was a microphone in his hand. Cliff set it down. Charlie waved over to the two of you and stepped away. He was unable to interrupt the ever-growing tears. My God. Why? I didn't know I'd be crying. No one spoke or even moved as Cliff returned to his spot. When he was seated, Kiri reached over to give his back a pat. He had done good. Oh my God, I'm gonna tissue. Cove's breath was shaky, taking in everything. A weepy smile reappeared on his face, and more sunk in just how much he was cared for. He leaned against your side, pulling at the tablecloth and burrowing his face into your shoulder. You were glossy. You brush Cove's hair back soothingly. Slowly, deliberately, you stroke the smooth green strands of hair without disrupting Cove's positioning against your body. When a voice was amplified out across the whole space once more, it was expectedly your planner, giving his appreciation for their cooperation again and announcing the closing of the speeches. But rather than leaving the microphone on the counter, he strolled up to your table with the device in hand. Oh, before we shut this off for the night, would either of you like to give your own message to your loved one? Oh, yes, I'd love to. Cove lifted his cherry face up to acknowledge Baxter pausing the sniffle. I'll do it. Yes, please. Of course, here you are. God, I love you, Baxter. You're so stunning. Cove used his one hand to scrub his eyes and the other to accept the mic, drawing it in close. Too close. His murmur crackled uncomfortably loud, and Cove's already sprung out straight instinctively to get the noisemaker away from him. He winced before much more cautiously lifting the microphone towards his face. He cradled it in both hands, and his gaze dropped to the ground. Thanks, everybody. Really, seriously. His eyes closed completely as he paused it by his lips. So glad to be here, and all those things you said were... Cove. There was the cracking strain in Cove's voice that wasn't caused by a technical error. He was choking up. Each word had to be pushed out with dedicated effort. Really nice. I love you. As repeatedly stuttered as it was, what he meant to express came through to the rest of the people there to hear. Cove's earnest affection. In a fumbling motion that screeched out even more unintentional feedback, Cove passed the mic to you as now free hands moved to cover his mouth. As you rose up from your chair, your eyes casting over each individual in the crowd, you had to accept the bittersweet notion that this truly was a special occasion. You had no idea when everyone you cared for would be gathered together in the same place again, or when you'd even see some of them next. You wondered if Cove had been cognizant of the same thing while he was speaking, then that this message had a weight to it, that it was your last big chance to share your thoughts with him. All you could think to say was... I'll always be grateful to get to have each of you in my life. And that brought the speeches to their last sentimental note. Your eyes remained focused ahead as you extended your hand out for Baxter to take the microphone and lowered back down in your seat. Applause erupted from table to table, and Baxter grinned approvingly.
Perfect.
He took the microphone back with him as he rejoined with the other staff members in order to give you and Cove some space to yourselves. When the clapping subsided, emotions remained high. Further conversations were tentative and hushed for a time. But eventually the happy chatter that frequented your reception filled with air again. It was an evening of good food and good company. When the meal was nearing its end, the final course you had requested from the caterer was handed out, the palate cleanser. From there, the evening continued to slip by in a dreamy haze. Before you knew it, all the attendees had finished and the dishes from dinner had been swiftly cleared from the tables. And that is where I'm going to leave today's episode, everyone. What an episode. I cried. I had to blow my nose. I had to use Google Translate. Come on now. Oh my god, y'all. That was... Holy crap. So okay, so we got... maybe half a reception? Maybe? I don't know, but... Oh my god, them speeches were something. Wow. Kira got... I don't know why. Just Kira got me crying. Because I love Kira. But yeah, everyone, that's where I'm going to leave today's episode here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. But lastly, you're a gentleman. Thank you for watching. Wonderful day, everyone. Bye!